So in this question, a permanent magnet is made from only one material. Underline the material from which it is possible to make a permanent magnet. So which material we use to make a permanent magnet? We use steel to make the permanent magnet. And for electromagnet, we use iron. The next part, an electron source produces a narrow beam of electron that travel in the same speed. The electron source is placed in a vacuum and the beam of electron travel vertically downward. Figure 7.1 shows a beam of electron before it passes between a north and south pole of a magnet. Describe what is meant by direction of a magnetic field and state the direction of magnetic field between the two poles. So direction of the magnetic field, the standard definition of direction of magnetic field, it is basically a direction in which the object, the north pole, like example, if I say what is the direction of electric field, direction of electric field is a direction of force experienced by positive charge. Same thing, direction of a magnetic field means it is a direction of the force experienced by north pole. Like if you have a permanent magnet and I say what is the direction of a magnetic field, the meaning direction we used to draw from north to south, but what is the meaning? Like if I place a north pole here, that will move away from the north and it will move towards the south. So basically a direction of a magnetic field is a direction of force experienced by the north pole. So where the north pole experience the force, we call that as direction of magnetic field, and in this example it is from north to south. Describe and explain what happened to beam of electron in magnetic field between the poles of a magnet in 7. So what happened to beam of electron as it is moving perpendicular to a magnetic field? Yes, it's beta or electron, so we'll use the right hand. So first thing you will mention, because whenever the beam is moving perpendicular to magnetic field, so it will experience the force or it will move in a circular or a curved path. And which direction it will experience the force. So you will use a right hand rule for negative particle. Right hand, your index finger, your first finger should point, your index finger should point towards the south pole. In this example, your index finger should point on the right hand side. Your second finger will point in the direction of particle, motion of the particle or particle direction, and your thumb will represent the force or the deflection. So your first finger should point towards right hand side. In this example, your second finger should point downward, and when you check, your thumb will automatically point into. So when you write what happened to a particle, electron is moving perpendicular to magnetic field. It will experience force into the paper and move in curved path. Like whenever there's a magnetic field, the magnetic field causes a deflection, or you can also write it can cause a deflection to the electron. A beam consists of alpha and beta particle, alpha, beta, and gamma. Explain how a uniform magnetic field may be used to separate alpha, beta, and gamma. So if there was alpha, like now they're saying this, it is alpha, beta, and gamma. So if beta is going into, alpha will go out of the plane and gamma will go undeflectedly. So direction of deflection of beta and alpha will be opposite of each other, and alpha will have a greater deflection, alpha will have a smaller deflection compared to that of beta, and gamma will not deflect at all. Is it clear, this part? Explain what is meant by the term electromotive force, the definition of EMF. It is work done on unit charge to move the charge around the closed circuit. So how much work we do to a charge so that it can move in a closed circuit, we call that as electromotive force. When chemical energy changes to electrical energy, you can mention that point as well. An electric heater contains two heating elements, R1 and R2. An electric motor operates a fan. The fan blow cool air over the heater. So that's how the heaters are working actually. The heater is powered by a main supply of 240 volts. So switch S1 and S2 are closed. The heating element R1 gets hot. Resistance of R1 is 30. Calculate the current. So to know the current, as we know, the switch is closed and they are parallel to each other, so they will receive the same 240 volts. So we know the voltage, we know the resistance, we need a current. So how to get the current? Current is a ratio between V is equals to IR. So I is equals to V divided by R. So what is the answer? 240 divided by 30, which is equals to 8 amps. To calculate the power produced in heating element. So power, we have different formulas of power. P is equals to VI, P is equals to I square R. So we can use, we know the voltage, we know the current. So we just multiply the two factors, 240 multiplied by 8. That will give us the power 1920 watts. The resistance of heating element R2 is 60. The switch S1, S2 and S3 are closed. State and explain how the current R2 compared to R1. Look, this one is 30 ohms, other one is 60. The voltage is same. So what is the relation when voltage is same? V is equals to IR, they receive the same voltage, or V divided by I is equals to R. If voltage is kept constant in the two component, resistance and current are inversely proportional to each other. So the current which is flowing through R1 compared to R2, so R2 will have a smaller current, or as the resistance is double, the current will become half. But this formula is only, this relation is only valid if voltage is kept constant. Like voltage is same between the components. So the current in R2 will be half as compared to current in R1. The current in a motor is 0.1 ampere. The cable from electric heater to plug the main socket is safe when the current is less than 20 ampere. Suggest and explain a suitable fuse rating for this circuit. look, how to know or how to identify a suitable fuse rating. So we should know the total current in the circuit. What will be the total current in the circuit? Current in R, current in the motor is zero point 0.1 amps or ampere. The current in R1 we calculated, it was 8, and the current in R2 is half of it, so it will be 4. So what is the total current coming out from the battery, from the supply? So 0.1 plus 8 plus 4, so it is 12.1. So if 12.1 ampere current is there, so I should select a fuse which can allow 12.1 or a bit more than that. So what fuse I can select? I can select a fuse of 13 ampere, 14 ampere. So I can select a fuse of 13 ampere. And how you write the answer, you'll mention the total current, the maximum current in the circuit is 12.1. So a fuse which is used for the circuit can have a fuse rating of 13 ampere. Question 9, part A, describe what is observed during total internal reflection. Like what we see during total internal reflection. In total internal reflection, light is reflected back in the same dense medium and no light is emitted out. All the light reflected back in a same dense medium. So reflection and no refraction. Two conditions for required light to be totally internally reflected. So what are the angle of incidence should be greater than the critical, and the light should strike, like light should be in a denser medium, or light should strike a boundary of denser to rarer medium. Or you can write light travel in a denser medium, or strike denser to rarer boundary. And angle of incidence must be greater than the critical angle, so it can undergo total internal reflection. Describe and explain the action of optical fiber in communication. Draw a diagram. So when they ask fiber optic or optical fiber, don't draw too many reflections. Like if you draw, here you cannot write endoscopy because they're asking for communication. Endoscopy is in medical. If you draw like this, that is totally wrong. So you should not draw in this manner. You should draw optical fiber and show minimum number of reflection. So what we use optical fiber for communication. And how the signal is sent, the data or information is sent in the form of light, which will undergo total internal reflection. So information or data in the form of light undergo total internal reflection when passing through fiber optic or optical fiber. So when you mention like light is traveling in optical fiber, total internal reflection will take place, and light carry information. These are the terms which are scoring marks. A radiation detector. So in this question, a radiation detector is placed on a bench in a lab. It detects a background count rate of 40 counts per minute. It said what is meant by background and suggests one source. So counts, the radiation other than the source are called background counts, and they can be from radiation from outer atmosphere, waste, rock, soil. So radiations from atmosphere, environment, and source, cosmic rays. A sample containing atoms of radioactive isotope polonium-208 is removed from a lead container and brought close to a detector. The average count rate increases to 890. When two sheets of paper are inserted between a sample, the average count rate returned to 40. Polonium-208 is represented by a symbol 84 and 208. It decay to an isotope of lead. Deduce a type of radiation emitted by polonium and explain your answer. So lead is 82. So if lead is 82, and how we can conclude like which radiations are emitted, we places two sheets of paper are inserted. So alpha particles cannot pass through, or alpha particles cannot penetrate through paper, or paper can stop these alpha particles. That's why we conclude that this was emitting out alpha. And write down equation for this decay of polonium. So what will be the equation? So as it is a radioactive emission, an alpha particle is emitted out. So atomic mass will decrease by 4 and atomic number decreases by 2. So it will turn into lead 204 and 82 plus alpha particle. So this was a